All right, so get a full screen here. I got to do problems 1 through 30 on the test that students took yesterday. And I think I'm going to do it a little differently this time. I sometimes start putting YKTD down on the worksheets, as in, you know the drill. I don't even have to put directions or instructions on a problem. We do so many in class and on the test so that we can overlearn the material. Students bring it into their next class. Had some colleagues who have started teaching this way, and so we kept the problems for those folks kind of in the same order. I never used to do that, but team teaching, I thought if that was the request, we'd do it. We're still sticking with that for the time being. I like to mix things up at some point so that out of the blue, a problem comes your way. Can you handle it? That's what happens in calculus. You're switching from one calculation to the next. 1 minute you're taking the derivative of the ln function, and the next minute you're finding the area bounded by two curves. So you've got to have working knowledge to be able to have this become something that you can work with. Working knowledge allows you to work. And so we're going to do today's 1 through 30 quietly. I'm not even going to say a word once I start. Just going to take Rennie the cart with me. And I think that'll shut down some of your senses. As in, you got to look at the numbers and say, well, where did that come from? And at this stage of the term, that might be helpful. So we're just going to do it that way. And I'm just going to, occasionally I write some instructions, mx plus b for number 2, right? But you can go to earlier lesson sets if they're done in this order for the most part. I'm not switching things around. I can't remember the last time I changed anything other than the numbers you're working with. And that's, as a teacher, how I learned this material. I kept working with it. Nobody was grading me other than myself. And so I'm just going to do 30 problems in a row. Once I start, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to say stay safe and warm at the end. I like that. Other than that, here we go. All right, done. Be interesting to see what kind of commentary. First time I've ever done this. I've done a lot of quiet soccer practices, and I know what comes out of that, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best practice we have all year long. I got some great tales to tell about that one. My coach was a British international, and he had, amateur international, but he was still strong enough to play the Soviet national team. And he said that the Soviets beat him 4-0 and never heard him talk. Everything was the thud of the ball. So when you shut down some senses, like the mouth, you start looking around more. You start really concentrating on your decision making. And it's a great practice. Little two-touch game on benches, no boundaries. More fun than any other practice I've ever had. Anyway, so that was a quiet moment. Don't know if you paused the video. I didn't give you much instruction at the beginning. I hope you paused the video and then tried the problems, and then, or maybe just watched. I mean, it's just followed, and maybe not hearing anything allowed you to concentrate on a different level. Be interested to, if anybody's got some commentary on that. Love some feedback on it. Don't know if it was a worthwhile exercise or not. I think it probably is, or I wouldn't have done it, but we'll see. All right, so that's problem 1 through 30. If somebody's just joining in and never done any of these lesson sets, I encourage you to go back and start with lesson set 1, where maybe we talk about what's going on and why. But at some point, you got to give up the earlier material to go up the ladder in this discipline. So we're starting to let go of those first 30 problems. And that doesn't mean we don't do them. It's just that we hopefully do them at a quick pace and overlearn it and not lose it from our memory bank, so that if you have to work with it at the next level, and you have to have all these foundational principles for a calculus class. And when I was in high school, only the top 10 or 15 students were allowed to take calculus. Now everybody's taking it, and I think people should take it. I think, but unfortunately, you have to have a foundation to be able to justify the study in a classroom experience. And that foundation has to be there. And so that's what we're trying to do with this level, is get the foundation there so that if I ask you to graph a logarithm and you're in a calculus class, you can. And it's been my experience, most students coming in to that level can't. So you got to teach that at the same time you teach the calculus, and that's unfortunate. So let's see if we can get everybody up and running at this level. And I don't see why we can't. Algebra 1 students last a year ago were graphing logs and exponents and sinusoids. I got a feeling we've got another couple of months to continue working on these things. I see no reason why somebody can't get good at it. All right, I'm rambling. Stay safe and warm.